Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I am your host, Ethan, and this is Roster United. Here in Roster United, we're going to do a mini podcast today. We're going to talk about two cool characters, Shang-Chi and Vision. We're going to talk about these two characters, go in depth, how many symbols, all that fun stuff right here, right now. So let's begin. And Shang-Chi here, he has 5 moves. He has 7 hits, 5 heroics, and 3 wilds. Honestly, for me, and just this, a professional standpoint, I think Shang-Chi is really good. He's got 7 hits. And we all know if you want to be a hitter, you have to move a lot and you have to do quite a few stuff. And Shang-Chi can do that 100%. He doesn't just do 5 moves, but he also does 5 heroics, which is really, really nice. I kind of think of Shang-Chi as a really high all-around character. And yeah, I've played with Shang-Chi many times. I've played, I think, with him 3 times, and those times that I've played with him, he was really good. Like, he would move around, he would hit, he would save people. Everything that I've just said, he did that, and he did it to perfection. Shang-Chi's abilities is called Master Martial Artist, which says double each hit symbol on the previous hero card in the storyline. For example, if your teammate played a card and it had a hit, well, on your turn, instead of just doing that 1 hit, you can use it twice. You can double that hit. So that is really cool. Shang-Chi is a cool character. His ability, honestly, his ability can be a good and bad. Because sometimes your teammate might not play a hit symbol. He might not play 2 hit symbols, right? He might not do that, or she might not do that. Whoever it is. So Shang-Chi can have a little trouble with his abilities, but honestly, everything else, he's a good character. I have to say it again. He's got 5 moves, 5 heroics, which is awesome. Just there, he's an A+. And then he's got 7 hits. That's like A+++. That is phenomenal. I love this character. He's great. His ability is okay. I can see where he might have some trouble with that, but honestly, just looking at his cards, he's good. He also has 8 2-symbol cards, meaning cards that have 2 symbols on it. He's got 8 of them out of 12. And honestly, that is a phenomenal character. 8 2-symbol cards is a lot, honestly. And I mean a lot. So Shang-Chi, he's really high up there. For me, out of a 5, I think he's like a 4.5, honestly, because he is just great. He could do everything, and he's just awesome. So, I've played with him. I've played with him with several other heroes, and he works with everybody. So he's just a fun character to play with. All right, next we're gonna go to Vision here. Vision might have some problems with me, but here's what he has. He has 3 moves, 2 hits, 7 heroics, and 4 wilds. So we see here clearly, by just looking at Vision's symbols, we see he's not that good. Yes, he has 7 heroics, but what else does he have? Well, he has only 3 moves, only 2 hits. That's nothing. He kind of reminds me of Ant-Man. As we all know, I always use Ant-Man because he's a great example for this. He has tons of heroics, but that's clearly it. And it's not just Ant-Man, it's also Spider-Ham, it's also Korg. All these characters and more are big hitters, are big heroics, are big movers, and that's it. That's all they are. Vision, great heroic character, amazing. Um, but unlike Shang-Chi, where he has 5 heroics, he can still move 5 times. He can still hit 7 times. So he's very balanced. Vision is not balanced. Even though he does have 4 wilds, that is pretty good. He has 3 separate abilities called Evolving Intellect, which says gain 1 wild token from each location with no empty thugs or civilian slots. So, yeah. So basically, you want locations to not be empty. You want them to be full, and then you can get wild tokens. Which, for Marvel United players, we all know that you don't want every location to be filled because you might go into overflow for tons of rounds. So you definitely don't want that. And Vision, for his power, he needs to do that. He has Solar Gem Blast as well, which says add all hits at the bottom of the last 4 hero cards in the storyline. Deal that much damage to a single enemy in your location. Personally, for me, I don't really like those kind of powers where you hit one enemy. The reason for this is because when you hit one enemy, like, that's it. You can't hit, thugs. You can't hit anything else. It's just one enemy, and that's it. It works if it's going up against the villain, or if it works against going up some of the big threat cards. But sometimes you don't. Sometimes lots of villains don't have threat cards, and so for me, I think that's not that useful. I think it's kind of useless. So yeah, I also think intangibility. Excuse me. It's a really hard word to pronounce. But basically, this is his third power, which says you cannot take any damage until the beginning of your next turn. This is something simple with a very complex name. You can't be dealt damage until your next turn, which is really nice. But in a two-player game, Vision, that power is not going to really work well for him because you're going to instantly go. Right after your other teammate goes in a two-player game. So it's got some good and bads. Vision, honestly, for me, is a bad. If we're gonna rate them today, I'd rate Vision like a 2.5 out of 5. Not out of 10. That's horrible. 2.5 out of a 5 because man, he's not that good. Just a little recap: Vision has 7 heroics, and that's it. 3 hits, 2 moves, or excuse me, 3 moves, 2 hits. And Shang-Chi, well, he has 7 hits, 5 heroics, 5 moves. We just see he's a much balanced character. His ability, yes, there is some problems with that, but honestly, just looking at the normal stuff, personally, Shang-Chi is a lot better than Vision. And Shang-Chi might even be in the top 10 out of 55, 57 characters in the game. He might be a top 10 for me. I also forgot to mention in Vision, he's got 5/2 symbol cards, which is not that bad. It's not that good. It's like in the middle of an okay range. Anyway, well, ladies and gentlemen, we just went through 2 awesome heroes, Vision and Shang-Chi, cool heroes. And we've definitely seen that Shang-Chi is a lot better than Vision and a lot better than other characters as well. Okay, so we're done with that. Now, next, we're gonna talk about some news, some updates here in Roster United. One of the major things is all of the in-depth episodes, like today, are going to be considered mini episodes. Meaning basically just shorter episodes. They're not really official episodes of the channel. Official episodes of the channel are going to be ranking, are going to be in depth with villains, are going to be remakes, and some cool other, um, subjects to talk about. For example, Hero or Zero. That is also going to be an official um, podcast. But basically, instead of me waiting until episode, let's say 21 or whatever, to do Hero or Zero, what if I just did a lots of mini little podcasts in between, talk about the characters, so you guys can, listen to more podcasts throughout the week, but at the same time, we can still do a big podcast as well. So yeah, there's just a few little changes here. So we're not basically in episode 21. This will be mini podcast episode 13, episode mini podcast 12. And if you want to hear this podcast, well, basically, Of course, go to Spotify. There you can search my podcast up, Roster United, and click on the newest episode coming out, which is Mini 013 in depth. I think it's 13, maybe it's 12. I'm not too sure about that. But yes, listen to me on Spotify. Listen to me here and also on the website online. Um, of course, when you're in my when you're in my website, just go click the logo on the top left corner there, and it'll show you all of the all of the great episodes that we have done here in Roster United. Again, I couldn't have done this without all your guys listening here, supporting. That is phenomenal for me. You guys are doing great, but I know we can still do a lot better. So keep getting people to listen to the podcast. Helps me a lot, supports the channel a lot. And yes, this is so awesome for me to do this podcast, especially with you guys listening. So that is very happy for me. I'm very excited. And yeah, just a little upcoming news here. Today or tomorrow, we're going to do Hero or Zero podcast. Uh, as we all know, this is going to be a cool debating podcast um, where I'm going to select a hero, and my father's going to select a hero, and we're both gonna talk about it, and then the judge, a special guest, will be here, and he or she is going to basically see which character in her eyes or in his eyes are better, and then let's see who is the zero and who is the hero. I like it. I like that a lot. Anyway, super excited for that. We'll see you all either today or tomorrow. Have a really amazing day.